In today's video, I take you behind the scenes for my What Will They Choose tournament and show you everything, from lighting to screens to problems I ran into along the way and some wins too, of course. So sit back and enjoy me rant for over 30 minutes. Enjoy. So this is the stage for the qualifying rounds and the opening round one, I think it was. Pretty basic, as you can see. I had a lot of matchups to film, so this stage needed to be as locked down and as like a well-oiled machine so that I could just film back to back to back. So when I first started designing the tournament itself, but I don't brag lightly about being the only one to have done this tournament, because when you do go into the flat rides and you see that there is 46 of them, and you lay them out like this and you lay out your matchups and you see each round, it was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. So I needed it to be able to be filmed so that I could reset the park each time. So obviously I would have each ride on either side, and that was the whole idea, was making it as fair as possible. Having no distractions, so there's literally nothing else in the park. There's no shops, no toilets, no rides, no nothing. It's literally, if I can take you back under here, and it should be lit, is back here is the guest spawn. This is just a staff area, because sometimes when you would reset, the staff wouldn't stay with the ride. You'd have to replant the ride and do it all over again. But yeah, the guests pretty much just walk straight out. There's nothing for them to interact with or get distracted with. They literally just walk straight out to the T intersection and pick a ride. Here's a little Easter egg of, this was the first trophy design. This was going to sit on the stage the whole time as a placeholder, because I had no idea what I was going to do for it. So at the moment it was just oh, you're a good apple, you win, and it was just meant to be sitting there. But when the show evolved, it turned out to be, initially the first episode was a lot longer and there was a lot of breaks and there was a lot of talking, and but when, as you can see, all of these pink matchups, if you're doing 3 rounds each to make it fair, and then it's just best out of 3, then obviously that adds up. So I just had to try and film it in a way that people would watch, and some people did, some people skipped through, some people preferred the short. So it was cool to be able to test out that whole area of doing shorts and such. But to take you around the arena, you obviously know Planet Coaster Stadium. It's been used for a lot of my shows. For filming, I just used the automated vehicle here. We obviously don't have the rides that we have in Planet Coaster, so we have to make do as we can. And it's pretty much just a little setup like this, to where we can just jump on. I just have it set up to be a little section, and then it's a 60-second timer, because we were able to time how long each round would take, and it took about 30 seconds for the guest to walk out. So you can see how I have all my lighting automated for each show. So that was pretty fun to be able to program all that. But it was being able to rely, as I said, on just that camera being there each time, and I could just when I first got it set up, I would just have the park empty, set up, ready to go. That would be my fresh save. So every round I would just reload, place the rides back down, and then go again. And then it was just, that's how I got my randomness, as we do air quotes, because some matchups looked very rigged. With sometimes, I remember when I first started, all the guests kept coming out and going this way, and I was a bit concerned about it being like, that's a bit weird. But it ended up just being the luck of the draw with some of the matchups, that whether it's I think it came down to the guests, of if they were young, they would like the more thrill rides. If they were older, they would like the obviously gentler rides. And especially kids would run, but they would give up maybe here or a little bit closer, and then someone would slowly walk and take the win. So it was cool to be able to watch how the game systems work with what rides to pick and whatever else. But we'll go over more of that in a later thing. So obviously that's my whole setup. That you've already seen the whole thing now. I didn't like how it ended up being the final 3. I wish I didn't have that, but yeah, it is what it is. The only reason we had that was because of the wave ride, as I obviously told you about being where guests do have to get changed. So I didn't want there to be any outside influence for the ride. So if they had to go and get changed before they could ride the ride, that would make it an unfair advantage because the guests would be getting changed while the other guests walk to go to the next ride, if that makes sense. And that's the only reason why that was pulled out, but worked out in the end. As you can see, it incorporates a lot of parts from my other stages, and that's what I really try to encourage is cheating in this game. Not for anything in the sense of like breaking the game or whatever, like if you want to do that sort of stuff, that's up to you, but I mean more of to make your life easier, of every light that you are going to see in my whole entire setup for each one of these shows, so the 3 stages, it consists of these 5 lights, and this is it. That's all my programming. So I literally have the game lights go on, so that's when the show opens, the lights turn on, the strobe color, red team, blue team, 3, 2, 1, go, and that's literally it. I think for the grand final I added one more of these, which was just the gold, like the lights turning gold and then the strobe going behind it. But as I said, I've never really done a show in the daytime, so that was really fun to be able to play around with that, and also very annoying because the stage looked awesome at night. Like there was a lot of other things that I had involved of the ride 2 and the ride 1 signs would catch fire after each round would be over, and that was fun to program. I'll see if I can find the fire. Oh, here we go, red. So yeah, this is my mission control underneath. Was I'd just come under here and go, okay, so we're just going to start, and that would be on. Let's see, so ride 1 loss is it would catch fire and that ride would be eliminated. But as I said, it came down to time. It came down to just different things, trying to speed things up and keep things interesting for the show. And that was one of the sacrifices of it, was having all that stuff set up, but taking it down. But yeah, that's pretty much the first opening stages. As I said, you'll see the stage evolve as we go and get bigger and bigger, mainly because I'm stupid and instead of just making this easier on myself and just using the one stage the whole time, I for some reason need to freak myself out and stress myself out and make things bigger. You'll probably notice with the stadium as well, we had to expand it with this section because there was a lot of bigger rides that I didn't anticipate for until we really got into it. One was the board slide. I had no idea what to do with this when it was in the park, so it's, if you see that ride, then you know that it's like, oh, we literally just squeezed it in as much as I could. But the bigger rides like this, I needed to really be able to fit it. So I just gave myself a little bit of extra room for them larger rides, just to be able to make sure that we could get everyone in here. I think it was that, and Sundial was my big one. And of course, as you've seen, Sundial made it nearly all the way to the end, and that was thanks to, here, I'll show you this side so you can see how things will work. So yeah, let's jump into the next one. Okay, so now we are back into the next stage, and as you can tell by my frame rate, we have a live audience. And let me tell you, if you ever want your PC to sound like it's going to explode, which you probably might hear over the microphone in some points revving up, so I will have to delete them in a second, put an audience in, because especially with the little toy piece of thing. But as a bonus, this is what I heard the whole time when filming. So every time, sorry, I need to pause it because that cracks me up whenever I hear it. Let's delete them. 8,966 people. Awesome. Oops, nearly thought I crashed my game then. Awesome in theory, but yeah, for some of them, oh, look at the frame rates I'm getting now. It's freed it up. Great in theory, but if you want to do something like that, yeah, it's very taxing on the PC, and I have a pretty good PC now, so to see my PC struggling was very awesome to push it. But we're now into the next stage. As I said, I wanted to step it up a little bit more and have the stage evolve to where the point of, by the time I get to the grand final, I just delete everything and then start a whole new stage. That's why a lot of it disappears. But you'll see it start to evolve of me starting to incorporate more screens. And of course, for the grand final, instead of just using the same screens, I redid them all. And I do have a new video coming out soon. It's my 5-minute screen guide for Planet Coaster 2. So it's just going to cover how to do all these screens for your shows. Real easy, exactly the same as my lighting one, where it's just a full guide on how to cheat. It's just an easier way than I've seen some people do it, where I'm like, you're going a little bit above and beyond what you need to do for that. So I will have that video out soon, so please do check that out when it comes out. But yeah, I really liked when this show was being designed, was I kept coming back to WrestleMania and heavily like WWE influenced with how the stage would be set up and how the show would run. So that's why you get the sponsor intro and then the pyro, and just trying to generate that awesome show intro was, to me, like the funnest part of it each time. Was, sure, the ride matchups were awesome, but being able to put on the show itself was the funnest part. And I think that most represents me and my channel, which is, as I said, a lot of people know me of going over the top for no reason, and for barely any views. I think that's the funniest thing I get, is people commenting being like, this deserves way more views. And it's like, yeah, that would be awesome, but if you've stuck with my channel this long, you know that that's not why I do all these things. I'm just doing these because I'm mental. So it's been fun creating, but then it's also stopping yourself, I think, is the funnest part of. I could have kept going. Like, I remember I had another 2 screens here on the side. I didn't have any of these banners, so I wanted to try and fill in the stadium and make it so I wouldn't keep going, because yeah, it's fun to do, hard to stop. So it's trying to create in a logistical way where you see it could kind of work, where it's like, oh yeah, like they would put 2 cranes there to hold the screens up, and that's how it's all just being done, like, and that's it, I guess. But then it's funny when you watch the matchups when it's literally just this shot, and it's like, I spent like a week building this stage, and it was very stressful trying to put on a show that people haven't seen before, for a concert that's like, for a tournament that's like bigger than what it needed to be. Like, I could have just stayed with the same stage, but I wanted to be able to have people recognize that we're moving forwards each week. And if I just had the same thumbnail, which is what I noticed when I released the round 1 after the qualifying rounds, was my viewership dropped off, and it was like, oh, okay, like that's people are starting to think it's the same rounds. But as you can see, I think that it came out pretty well. Like, as you can see, the sponsorships are evolving now. Like, that was my funnest part, was putting the sponsorships and everything. Getting the actual finalists up and running was pretty cool also. But as I said, like, what doesn't need to be changed doesn't need to be changed, and this was all just the same, because this is all you see is when the guests come out about here. So fun to create, fun to design, but yeah, the next one's where it really gets a little bit mental. So let's jump into it. Okay, so now we are back, and as you can tell by the frame rate, we are back with another live audience. So we will delete that. Okay, and the crowd goes quiet. So yeah, this is our grand final stage. Pretty much the only thing I kept from this was the actual little arena part set up, and that's pretty much it. This was about 2 weeks worth of work. It was a lot smaller when I first started. I will pause it. The problem I had was it looks a lot smaller than what you think. So that was what I really hated. Was initially this tower was massive. It came out to about these 2 banners and went up to about the same height, but it looked really weird. But it's not until you put a measure height person down here that you see the stage is huge. It's just, it doesn't translate with how it is. So I think the thing that you'd have to change is maybe to make the banners smaller, because I think the banners make it look really like out of shape and style. So it's a weird one. It bugged me. I experimented and tried to get the screens up higher, but yeah, I was just running out of time to try and do stuff. And as I showed you, the more I added to this, the more the game kept crashing. So um, yeah, that was fun. And it turns out that comes down to our trophy case. So if you've seen Worlds, which is League of Legends Worlds, I love their opening ceremonies. It would be a dream job for me to be able to create something like that. Um, and one of their things was the reveal of their trophy was when these walls come down and reveal the trophy. Let me see if I can find the trophy. Trophy. And how do we do this? Well, in typical what's his face fashion, we faked it. So my biggest request that I've asked the devs for is a start and stop system. So when you're doing your mechanical pieces or your moving pieces, a lot of them just have a back and forth animation, right? So static left, static right. Oops, we don't want static, static stop. So stuff like that. And all I've asked for is just a way to be able to just play that one section and then it stops. And if I want it to go back, I could trigger it to go back whenever I wanted. I feel like that would open up the door to so many more bigger shows rather than me having to... Whoa, oh, I was bleeding. I was like, where's the finger? Rather than me having to create 4 or 5 of these to counteract each other to get it to stop where I want it to for as long as I need it to, and then letting it go once it's done. Rather than... It's... I don't know if you've seen a couple of other designers where they have 20 or so of them designing a little animatronic, and it's like, if you just had a start and go system that you could fully program of telling something to move here then stop, move here then stop, move here then stop, move here then stop, and then it's like, okay, well, it's done. I'll show you this. Sorry, I got distracted. Trophy. Okay, so this is how we fake it, right? And you can go back and watch how I cheated, but I'm not afraid to say that I cheat to you. It's set on a 10-second delay as I needed to be able to film it, and every time I press play it would start and I'd be like, oops. So here we go, it opens up, revealing the beautiful trophy, and the screens would be playing on each side, and it's magical and it's awesome, and then all of a sudden the camera feed cuts and it's like, wow, that's awesome, look how he designed it. And then I edit this so that I pull them down, and then I press play again and it's done. But if you kept playing, you would see that it just does a full loop back to the start. So this is what I was saying about, if I could get it to go down and then to stop, and then it won't go back up until I tell it to. Oh, amazing. Awesome. 10 out of 10 update. Crowd goes wild. But yeah, it is what it is. So this is how we deal with it. So it's pretty funny. Like, I left a couple of little shots in there where you can see it rotating back, because I didn't want people to think that I was some freaking wizard. I'm just someone that knows how to cheat in this game. The biggest thing that I was really enjoying was the waterfall. As I said, I haven't been able to do a show in the daytime, so that was really fun. And obviously water at night is not pretty. It's barely visible, so I wanted it to be so you could do this show at night, but it's mainly designed for that daytime shots of being able to see the ride. And that was the other problem I had was, if I put a ride down, actually we'll use one of the finalists, the one that I thought was going to win was Sundar. Whoops, see? Looks great and such in the daytime, but when you go to nighttime, it's very hard to light. Unless you have massive like lighting towers everywhere. But so that was my problem, was between that and this, way easier just to film in the day, and it solved a lot of problems of what I needed. And obviously now that we can have the lights on during the day and such like these, it did help out instead of just making things look really weird. But one thing I didn't show you is where all of my lighting is. So all of underneath the stairs here is all of our lighting blocks, and you can see that there is, just in this part alone, I won't cheat, I'll delete the wording, 432 sequences. So that's 432 times 5. So that's how many all of the lights is. Still the same, just 5. If I just go back and show you. So still the same 5. So we had them 5, red team and that. So I've literally just added lights off. So that was just a reset, sets everything back to black in case I have any problems. I didn't need to use that one. The gold opens, so it just turns lights gold. And then I think it had the white strobe added into it. So it was literally just this one and this one combined, where I just redesigned that one to just put gold lights on for 3 minutes. And then had the white strobe repeat itself over and over again. And then we have the winner is pretty much the same, but just shorter. And then all of these would just be compiled into these. So this is our main show. Oops, should turn the light on, sorry. So this is just recreated. So you see I can put them as green to make them like, this is our main one. And then it literally just has every one. Oops, I can go under here and show you. Every one, oops, I'm pointing at the screen. every one of them lights is in this sequencer. And that's literally how I do my shows to cheat. And the only reason I tell you all this is because you probably have seen a couple of people are starting to do big shows, and it's really cool when they do tag me in them, because I love watching them. And there's a couple of good ones that I'm keeping an eye on. They're still just in early designs, but it's been really cool to see. So yeah, if you are doing cool lighting shows or have any questions, please do reach out and send me a message. You can send me a message on X at what's his face, or TikTok. A lot of people have been reaching out. I don't have Discord or nothing like that, but yeah, a lot of people have been talking to me and asking me questions, and in some cases they even send me a problem, and then I spend the next hour or so trying to work out a way for them to do it and then just send it back to them. So it's been really fun trying to create that sort of stuff. But back to the stage. Pretty much I wanted it to be overwhelming. I really wanted this to be a replica of the trophy itself, but obviously we don't have a massive 20-meter spatula. And that was a last minute design. This whole thing was just a video screen, and then I found the fountain pieces, and I was like, wow, if I could incorporate more water into this, like instead of just that, because this was cool. This was like working out the logistics of this, of how they would do something like that. And then silly me went way too far, and I even put pumps to pump the water up and pump it back out for them. And yeah, as you know me, I do things differently and silly, and I have no idea why I put the statues there. They just look cool. That's how it is. But this is the main stage that I'll be working on for my 5-minute screen guide. So obviously this has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens, 2 massive screens, 1 circle screen, 4 rectangle screens on the trophy, and they were all playing to sync itself. So it's going to be really cool to work out lighting and such. My new favorite piece is the submarine lamp, because that looks like awesome arena lighting. If only it could produce a lot of light, that would be awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole backstory of how all of it was built. I'm not really sure of anything else that I might be missing. The only thing I can maybe think of is my confetti cannons, which were awesome to create because of this. Boom! That's right, because one of the awesome things is the resize tool. And let's have a look here. If you have a little cannon, get a little smoke. If you have a big cannon, we get a big confetti pile out. So it would be cool if I could get rid of the cannon and just have it as an effect. Planet Coaster, just have it as one of these. What's going on over there? Oh, that fell down. But yeah, that was pretty fun to be able to have that go off and explode in people's faces and such. But same as the lighting, this is the whole fireworks show for the opening, was just one section repeated, and I think it's 6 each side, and then a couple down here, and then some up here. I did initially want to have a fireworks barge. You can see I had it all set up and whatever else, but the problem was the fireworks in the daytime didn't look very nice. Like, I know a lot of the daytime fireworks now rely heavily on their smoke to sell the effect, but yeah, Planet Coaster's not really there with that sort of thing. But yeah, let me know what you think. this was pretty fun to do. I don't think I'll do this ever again because it was such a mental strain trying to track everything and film everything and then make sure everything was fair and trying to it was hard to do it all whilst they were updating the game because I got really scared that say they tweaked a couple of things with the arcades when they implemented them, saying that, oh, well, we've changed this so that they're more enticing to guests to go and play them and such. So I got really worried that if they rebalanced some of the rides that I would have to redo it because people would say, well, now they've changed the, what's the name, right? They've changed the Tiny Eye, and now the Tiny Eye is more attractive to guests and such compared to the Screaminator. Like, it was really interesting to see just them guests evolve and such to a point where it's like, well, where will they go? What's determining when they walk through the front gate what they go to? And 9 times out of 10, it was completely random. It was the most weirdest thing to sit back and watch where even filming it, I thought some points where I was like, no one's going to believe this. They're going to think that you've faked this and it's just, you're rigging it or whatever else. And it's like, no, I swear, like there is Gale Force. I hate it. I hated that ride. I'll say it now because if anyone's still watching, they'll have watched the full thing. It's a terrible ride. It does not look like fun, and I'm literally only saying that because I would not have the balls to get on it. It looks absolutely terrifying. If you had something winding up like this, no way would I get on it. And it's like, for some reason, look at that, Excitement 3.4. They're all orange. So I thought there's no way that like the little kids and the adults and the teens, no, they loved it, kept getting on it, couldn't have enough of it. Every round, no matter where I put that thing. Sometimes Sundial, which is, as I said, my favorite from the start. I love Sundial. It just kept getting like beat by this thing in the end, and I'm like, damn, come on, like it's got to win surely. And then it was funny because I redid the so if you have watched the grand final, you obviously know how I set it up, where it was a first to 5 and they just rotated on each other until we had our winner. And at the start, it looked like we were just going to go Gale Force, Sundial, and then Monsoon Shoot. Just we're going to win back to 4th. But then, for some weird reason, halfway through, we just started to kick out either way. And it was like, oh, okay, like Monsoon Shoot's not even standing a chance against these now. I didn't know what was going on. So I thought, okay, well, once this is done, I filmed it all. I redid it like I originally did as a best of 3 between Gale Force and Sundial, because that was our last one, which was really cool that they got a draw, because that was like, wow, like this is finals worthy. And so I thought, oh yeah, I'll just do a best of 3 and then I'll put it as a bonus at the end. Gale Force won every one of them, and I was just so confused at like, well, I can't upload that, that's just embarrassing. At least Sundial had a bit of a chance in the last one, like it made him look fair. This one, he just destroyed him. And I swapped the sides, tried to get it to go on like, oh, well, it's just because it's over here. No, it didn't matter where it was. But anyways, I digress. Look out for my next videos coming up. Put in the comments what you'd like to see next. As I said, this channel's kind of in the air right now. I'm slowly running out of time to do these videos. So that's why if you see me try to pump out as many as I can, it's literally because I don't know how much longer I'll keep doing these type of videos. So I'm just trying to hand as much over as I can while I can, and I'm still here to do that. So it's if you do have any questions, please do put them in the comments below, because like I'm loving watching people's shows and such, and this whole weird side of Planet Coaster that I'm involved in, of playing a roller coaster tycoon game and not doing any parks or nothing like that, has been really fun. I'm also working on another style of video where I really want to try and showcase some of these workshop items. I just don't think that they're getting the exposure that I really think they deserve. So if you do see one of them videos, please do support it. Go and check out that park, because it's so sad to see someone put so much work into something, and then once it gets released, it's like, I think some of the big ones that I've checked have like 40 free downloads, and it's like, come on, like we really need to really get this community back into downloading parks and having fun again, and exploring other people's stuff. So keep an eye out for that. As I said, say whatever you'd like in the comments. Say g'day if that's all you need to do. Give it a like, give it a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. Do we even see dislikes anymore? I'm not sure. But as always, make sure you have a great day. I will see you in the next one, and I hope you check it all out. Thanks. See ya.